We're alive again. So since about maybe 8 p.m, 8:30 p.m, I've been hearing all these really loud engines. I assume it's cars for some reason, I don't know why. It could be motorbikes, but either way it's really annoying. I heard them a lot, you know, throughout the summer when I went to the canal. And when I went further up the canal, like quite far, so it would be like next to Astley Street. That's where I heard them. So they'd be on the main road, and I could hear them from the canal. It's really annoying. And just now, because I was hoping to come up there at some point and see if I can see them, but I can't hear them now. But I just saw a motorbike. It was really loud, so I don't know whether it's motorbikes or cars, I really can't tell. Either way, it's really annoying, and I just don't think that it's like necessary for them to be that loud, because I've seen motorbikes that are really quiet, so I know that it's not necessary for them to be that loud, and they must just deliberately put loud engines in them for whatever reason. They just like to show off, I guess. I feel like they do it just to show off, to like, oh yeah, this is their way of being like, oh yeah, I'm a big man, I've got a big loud engine, because it's not necessary. So if it's not necessary, then to me it's just like they're just trying to show off, or whatever. I'll be like deliberately annoying because it's night time and they're zooming up and down the streets. They're zooming up and down like built up areas with houses, because I'm walking a street now. It's like a back street or a side street or whatever, and you know, there's houses and some people have the windows open, but even if they didn't, they'd be able to hear it. So, and it's obviously the time when people are going to sleep now, because a lot of people go to bed at this time, like 9 o'clock onwards, and it's 10:30, I think, roughly. Hi, Cookie Fatty. So yeah, it's 10:30, and they're really loud fucking motorbikes are screeching up and down a built-up area, and it's really annoying because it's not necessary and people are trying to sleep. Or at the very least they're trying to relax for the evening. So I mean, I'm glad they're not doing it where I live. Where I live, I can kind of hear them from afar. You know, you know, you can hear them, but they sound obviously far away, so it's not as annoying. It's kind of annoying, but it's obviously not as annoying as if they were coming up and down our street or anything. Here, check it out. So here we go, is a big house here. Here's a big house, look. So this is where I normally am on the canal when I hear them. So this is where they zoom up and down the street right here. This street right here is where they zoom up and down, either cars or motorbikes, and they're very loud. I hear multiple ones, but I can't tell if they're like racing or whatever. But as you can see, even at this late hour, there's still lots of cars coming up and down. So how they do it, I don't know. How they're like able to zoom up and down the street when there's like, even at this time, there's loads of cars coming by here. And up there, that's like the way to Manchester. that's the way to Manchester, and it's also the way to Grandma and Granddad's house as well. So that's how I know this area, because I've been up there. I've actually walked all the way up there for the first time last year, but on the canal. And I actually came out on the main road. Hello, Duke the Legend and Dean, by the way. But yeah, that's the way to Manchester. So obviously they don't actually want to, so there's a big house there and there's one over there as well. Somewhere is hidden. But they don't really want to go too far, obviously. Oh look, this house is for sale. Maybe I should move here. This is awesome. It's kind of big window. I don't know. If I move, I probably won't move anywhere near here. I want to be far, far away. When I move, I want to be far, far away. If I could, I'd move country. I would. I was gonna tell you where I would live, but I better not. Just in case the shitheads are watching at any point. I don't want them knowing where I plan to move to or give them any ideas. Because even if I listed a few countries, you know, they might try and find me in those countries. So I'm not gonna say where I fancy moving to. Because even if I say it, I'm not necessarily going to move there. But I'd rather not. There's lots of nice places that I fancy moving to, either in this country or a different one. I will say I've always fancied living in Germany, but I don't know about that anymore. But I'm just saying that because I'm not sure. And even if I did, like, say, move to these places and people knew about it, then I could be anywhere in Germany or wherever. So I'm sure it would be hard for them to find me. I don't know. Not that I think they're going to try and find me or anything, but you never know, do you? I don't know how determined they are to make my life a living hell. I mean, I got a fucking prank phone call the other day. Not yesterday, the other day. I was on my way home and I got a call from an unknown number. I answered it thinking maybe it could be my mum. Because I remember one time I looked at the phone and it wasn't my mum. As in, you know, it didn't say mum like it normally does. So I answered it and it was my mum. So I thought it could be my mum. You never know. So I picked it up thinking it was my mum. And it just somehow, because my phone is really weird and glitchy sometimes. And it puts itself on silent and mute sometimes, so I don't get texts or calls. So I thought if my phone does that, it could make somebody unknown, couldn't it? Or maybe my mum has done something to make her number come up as unknown. So I answered it just in case, and I heard, you know, music in the background. So I thought, oh yeah, it's my mum, I can hear the telly in the background. But then I heard like rap music or whatever. But I thought, again, it could be on the telly and she's not necessarily watching it. It just happens to be on the telly. But then I heard this male voice and the accent sounded local, like a fucking yobbo. It sounded like one of the hooligan accents. Manchester local accent, so I thought, oh, I'll be one of the shitheads from around here. And did you hear that? Someone laughing. And it was kind of pleasant at first. He kept saying my name though. He kept saying my name. So I thought, yeah, it's definitely someone from around here who just like knows me. because I don't give out my details to random people online. I don't really know how these people know, to be honest, but yeah, he kept asking me if I could hear him, and then when I said I could, he just said like, how are you? Are you alright? And my first thought was to ask like, who are you? And how did you get my number? And how do you know my name? So I said that. But instead of answering me, he just kept asking me if I'm going to suck him off or something. So I put the phone down. And I was like, why are these people just calling me now? How did they get my number? I don't really give my number to people around here. Certainly not. I only give my number to people I know a bit better and who live far, far away. Far away. So that was very strange. So I'm assuming that they deliberately did that to wind me up and get some kind of rise out of me, so I just hung up. Because who rings someone up and asks them to suck them off if they're not deliberately out to, you know, like creep them out? Like surely blokes by now know that asking questions like that is going to creep them out. Maybe I'll move to Sussex. Some loud people coming this way. I want to be far, far down the street when they come. It's this area. They're coming this way, so on the main road. Some people. Get here. Oh fuck, they're coming this way. Quick while they're distracted. Let's go. I think they're actually fighting. Sometimes they're loud like that when they're not fighting. So I can never tell. I can never tell when people are angry, arguing, fighting, whatever, because these people are always freaking loud. Even when they're being like friendly and like just chatting normal with their friends, they just shout loud and they swear. So you can't always tell when they're actually being, you know, angry and fighting and stuff and aggravating. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Apparently I'm not allowed to say out about anyone. Apparently I'm not allowed to rant and rave and complain about people, apparently, guys. Guys, guess what? Newsflash. Apparently people are allowed to say shit about me, especially around here, but apparently I'm not allowed to say anything bad about people. or anything against people. How unfair is that? Shit. Because I got told by one of the neighbours that apparently people don't want to be my friends because they think I'm going to say something bad about them. Uh-oh. That's them again. Shit. Where do we go? I could probably quickly go round. I don't want to know I'm here. Fuck. There's more of them as well. Shit. It's them from before. There you go. You think they'll notice if I quickly go? Well, let's just quickly. Oh no, they're coming this way. Just casually go the other way. I want to hear you. I thought that said I want to hear your friend at first. They're not going into my house, are they? I don't know. I want to keep walking now. I want to be your friend. I heard that as I want to hear your friend. It's nice that you want to be my friend. But you don't live around here, do you? Don't live in Manchester. I can hear more of them down there. I only saw 2 of them before. I really want to go home, but I can't. I don't come out. Because they're already pissed off. Oh no, they're coming back here. I'll get the bin in a minute. I'm just going to go in quick. I just don't want them to see me. Right. Whereabouts do you live? I want to get the bins in, but that will just draw attention. So I'm not going to do the bins yet. I'll get the bins another time. Later or tomorrow, whatever. You know. I get they're probably just too distracted. They're probably distracted by whatever they're arguing about, so hopefully they wouldn't give me trouble if I drew attention to myself. But you just don't know, do you? You just refuse to bloody move along. They're just pretty much hanging around the same area. I can't hear them now. They might have gone quiet. I need to get the bins in. Otherwise, idiots will start putting fucking stuff in that's not supposed to be and inconvenience me. Because they're empty. No. When people put stuff in bins it's not supposed to be in and they're empty, it's harder to get it out. Right, well, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing for dinner, by the way. Huh. It's changed again. Oh. It's changed. It won't let me mute. Oh, I can mute. Hang on, what's this? What's this? Highlight saved to your channel. Alright, okay. Don't really need it, but... Oof. This stinks in here. I've onions. I won't cut onions up. I like the smell of onions. Right, you guys, my hair is all nice and fluffy, so it'll look nice. Fluffy. It's a bit flat because I've had my hood up though. Rough and puffy hair. So I made video, you know, that outfit I wore the other day for you guys. and you couldn't see it because it was too dark. Well, I did a video afterwards, and the video was a lot lighter because when I make a video, I can make the camera go lighter so that you can see properly, like there's a light. I don't know how it works because there's no actual flash or anything that comes from the phone, but it somehow makes things brighter so you can actually see. So I made a video in that same outfit so you guys could see it better. I've just got to make it public, but I've got to monetize it first. Yeah. You can be, I can be where Dean is, and then I can show him my art better. Hey, how is Kent? Is it nice? Right, so here's the usual then. I'm going to go and make myself look better, and then I will be back to actually show myself. Actually, I think I've got everything here that I need. Well, most everything. Not quite. It's warmed up now, so I can be comfortable. I've not got my ears. Oh yeah, that's true. I've got everything pretty much except my ears. Bugger. Okay, so I still have to go upstairs. Never mind. I will be back then. I still don't know what I'm making. Alright, I'm back and I'm wearing my wolf gear. Wearing Ken to you, but he didn't reply. Well, I'm sure he probably doesn't want to announce on the internet where he lives. Specifically. Just like I wouldn't. Okay. Where's my fluffy puffy fluffer puffer and my outfit, which you can't really see. Super good. I'm wearing my fluffy tail. And today I was going to show you the version with these over the knee lace up boots today, because I didn't show you them last time, but they look really good with the outfit. If I get the damn thing done. I can't wear these for too long because of my hip and all, but I'll wear them for a little while. So this is instead of the furry leg warmers. Whoa! I really need something to lean on. Come on, man. Work. Oh. Where's my fur? It appears I don't have my fur trim. I could have sworn I had it. Oh, bother. I don't even know where I put it. I honestly don't know. Can't really see much. But I will. I still don't know what I'm doing for dinner. But here's my furry fluff outfit, which you just can't see very well because the light is just shit. Mew. I've got fur leg warmers and paws out here. I never get one. I've got furry leg warmers here and paws. Little paws. Bunchy tail. Here's my paws. Mew. Hello. Mew. Look at that. Looks like my fingers are little claws. Mew. Mew, mew, mew. Mew, 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 mew. Mew. Still paws. Believe it or not, I'm not a cat though. It's a wolf outfit. But I mew apparently. I'm a wolf that mews apparently. A wolf that mews. Mew. I have to walk back and forth because if I don't, the damn thing goes like dead dark for some reason. It lights up. The more I move, that's when it lights up, especially if I do this. I don't know why. The light is just so shit and I don't know what to do about it really. That is pretty bright. Oh shit, that's still on. Okay. So that's the version with this sort of cropped cardigan with fur trim. Now I'm going to show you the version with the bolero jacket, which is like oldie worldy gothic with this lace thing. Which you can't see because it's all black and shit. You can just about see it, I guess, when I go further away. Mew, mew. It's a fluff, really. I'm a fluff. A fluff is like a kind of cross between a wolf and a cat. There we go. Paws. Mew, 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 Cute little paws. And it's supposed to have a hook and eye thing here. You can see one part of it. There, that's the eye. It's supposed to have the hook version there so I can put it together. One side of it's disappeared. It might do. Yeah, sorry about the light. It's just so terrible. There's nothing much I can really do about that. Even with the overhead light, it was never very bright in here. Maybe a white jacket with that contrast thing. It might make the live stream camera thing go brighter. If that makes sense. They just seem to respond to things that are light. Or I need a tissue. Where's the tissue? Help. Need a tissue. I just love this leotard look, don't you? I think this should just be like a new trend to just go out like this. Just wearing a leotard. Either with bare legs or just like tights or whatever. I kind of like the look. And with the way people dress nowadays, I mean, I've seen girls go out in their knickers. So why not the one step further and wear like a leotard thing? Seriously, I saw girls go out in their knickers one summer. They're trying to pass them off as like just really short shorts, but you could tell they were knickers. The way it is looks good. I do have a white jacket, but it's like a full length one. This is quite cold. I'm not very warm in this jacket. I'm not sure if you can see it. It just keeps going super dark, so doesn't need help. Doesn't need help. My actual camera is better, like I say. It kind of lightens up things that are in front of it. Like there is a flash. This live stream lock is shit. This is my costume type thing. Normally I'd wear it with leggings though. Those are thicker. Because I'm not sure the world is ready for people going out in this. I think I probably would wear leggings rather than tights if I was going to do this in public. The only time I would wear this in public is probably, you know, one of these like costume event things. I don't know. Not that anyone could really complain. This is kind of like what ballerinas would wear anyway. Ballerinas would wear like a leotard like this one with tights anyway. So it could just be like ballerina chic or something. That's what we could call it. If people were to go out dressed like this, they could call it ballerina chic or something. Because that's what this is. It's pretty much, it's like a kind of ballerina sort of costume, but I've worn it to make me look like an animal. Because this is what I wanted. This is the kind of costume I've wanted ever since I was a kid. Like the Cats costume, like in the musical Cats. They're costumes like that, with unitards with fur on them and shit, and animal patterns. I've always preferred costumes like that, like the skin tight costumes, rather than like the bulky ones. Like fur, like a lot of fursuits I don't like because they're just bulky and baggy and And the designs are just goofy, so they kind of look a bit more like goofy cartoon looking animals. So I don't like most fursuits, so I prefer like costumes like this. But it would just be good if it wasn't see-through or whatever. It would be cool to have a cafe where the waitresses and cooks dress like this. Or as animals. As ballerinas. They'd wear maids' outfits, I assume. That would look good. A cafe with pretty dresses, maids' outfits, and the like, and Lolita dresses. Maybe guys could wear dress pants. Yes, they could wear dress pants, a shirt, a waistcoat, a bow tie, or tie. Tie. A tie or a bow tie. What I like about this top is I can actually put my hand down to scratch if I want to, so I can scratch my shoulder and stuff. So that's why I like this. But I normally prefer high neck things just because I think they look fancier. So if I'm wearing a low neck top like this one, then I like to wear a collar with it because I for some reason I just don't like the bareness here. I just don't think it looks very good. I think it looks too casual. So I prefer to wear a shirt with a collar or with some kind of fancy thing at the neck or the chest or whatever. I don't remember that name. Really? What time is it, by the way? Oh god. 23:23. Yeah, I've got I don't know if I actually made a video or live stream with this outfit, but I did an outfit where it's like a tuxedo top. It's a crop top. So it's white here. It's got like this ruffle effect going on, like a lacy ruffle effect. And a collar. It's pretty much like a halter neck. It's a costume piece, but it looks like a tuxedo sort of thing going on. It's got the white shirt bit here, and then it's got like a waistcoat effect here with pinstripes, black with pinstripes. And I put that on with a bow tie and leggings and a jacket like this one, or a long jacket, you know, like a suit jacket or a tuxedo jacket or whatever. And it gave that effect. My mum said she really liked that outfit and I should wear it more often. But I haven't worn it for years. I wore it a couple of times last year, and I wore it with a white... I've got a white jacket. I do actually have a white jacket, yeah. You know, it's like this one. Not a bolero, but it's kind of like a crop. It looks like a tuxedo jacket or suit jacket. But it's like a cropped one. I don't know where it is at the moment. It doesn't really fit very well, but it's stretchy. So this is the version with the boots, and I've also done a version with my furry leg warmers to look more wolf-like. So it looks more cute. I would like to wear these boots at some point when I wear this outfit to an event. But I can't wear them for too long because I just can't walk in heels for too long. But I will admit these are the most comfortable heels I've ever had because they're not too high and they're like block heels, so they're not stabby pointy heels which I can't balance in at all. So the block heels make it easier to walk in. But it's just my hip, it doesn't like anything raised. It doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't like anything raised, it starts moaning. If guys in this imaginary cafe dressed like that, I would love it. If they were a little overweight, you would see the fat marks. Fat marks. like their rolls and what have you. And I suppose you'd see like buttons where the buttons are in between being pulled. I'd love it if they had like an overhanging belly as well. That it would overhang somewhat. That would be pretty hot. It would be pretty good. Maybe if they wore short shorts as well, they could wear short shorts and then have their bellies hanging over that. They'd have to be like pear-shaped or whatever, or curvy. It would be nice. I still don't know what I'm cooking. It's like nearly midnight, I guess. And I still don't know what to cook for dinner. It is ridiculous. My mum hasn't told me what she wants. Although she might have done. Let me just check my text. Sorry about that. Yeah, she said what to cook, so there we go. I know what I'm cooking. I know what I'm cooking. Hooray. So just bear with me. Right, I'm going to take off my boots now. So that I can move around more easier in flats. Okay. There we go. Just having to concentrate on dinner now, guys. But I will talk to you, so don't worry. I have to do dinner in between and, you know, focus on it and shit, so I'll be with you shortly, of course. Sort of in between. Yeah. Okay. I need one of those spatulas, don't I? I need a spatula. There we go. Turn that down. Hopefully it won't take too long. I'll walk around. So this is the version with just tights, without anything on. I don't know why I just didn't like that. That's it with that, and then furry leg warmers for warm. Am I right? Yes. Furry, fluffy, puffy, woofy, puffy, woofy, woof. I would like to say that I don't know how someone hasn't come up with this cafe idea yet. People are weird, huh? Oh well, we should do it. Let's not tell anyone. Right. Okay. Why is that still going? The water's still going. That's not supposed to happen. I'm with you. I'd like to see more people dressed as I'm dressed now. Or in Victorian clothes, that would be good. Animal clothes, tight fitted clothes, or Victorian clothes, or Lolita clothes, which is Victorian, but shorter version. I don't know what I did with my jacket. What did I do with my jacket? There it is. So you've seen what it looks like with the two different jackets and even without. So I'm going to put this on for warmth, pretty much. So this is quite warm. Where are you from, by the way? As if I couldn't guess. America. You add me on Facebook, I can show you my fatness. Oh my god. Oh my god. I am a... what is it? Valley boy. Oh my god. Did you realise it's not a vest? A vest is an undergarment. It's a waistcoat, you are meaning to say. What? Paws. I like little tiny paws. Right, I need to get minced really quickly before it starts. Don't know what I'll do on Saturday. I don't think there's any events going on Saturday. No furry events, no nothing. I mean, there is, but I can't get there super easily. Nowhere really local to do it, to go to. Because I was banned from the only local one. I tried suggesting, like, you know, an alternative one around here. I was gonna, you know, like start my own furry meet, but no one seems to be interested. North America. You're from Brazil, so not America then. You're from Brazil. Brazil is not American. Brazil is foreign. No offense. I know, ever since I was a kid, I've always thought of like England and America to be like not foreign because it's English speaking. So English has always been like the main language of the world, so not foreign. And everywhere else, even these countries that they say are in America, to me are foreign. So we've got Mexico, which apparently is in America. Go figure, I always thought it was in Mexico. I thought Mexico was in Mexico, not America. Hawaii, not in America, that's a separate country. It's an island country where people are islandy. Islandy. They go with the brown with black hair, that's not American, that's just like, that's something else, that's island. I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah, Venezuela and stuff, Argentina. See, not American, it's something else, it's foreign. It's something else entirely. It might be in America, as in not the United States, the other bits. The other bits. The other bits. The other bits of America. We're in the other bits of America. Good day. Day. I know it is. I know it is. But when I was a kid growing up, when I heard about Hawaii, I thought it was separate. I thought it was a different country. That's what I'm trying to say. As a kid, I didn't know it was in America. I thought it was some separate land, I guess. Now I know. Like recently, in the last several years, I've known. Alright, I need to turn that down. Well, it's going to start mumbling at me, isn't it? Yes. But I've seen Hawaii. It does not look American. It looks like a foreign land. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't care where it's located. It's separate to me because it looks like something different. It looks different. It doesn't look America. It's not a big city, is it? Hawaii tent by the beach with workers wearing these furry clothes. Are you trying to say that only people who are in a servitude position are going to be wearing these outfits? How dare you? I am the boss. I am not a worker. I am an aristocrat. So, I had this idea for a fantasy scenario whereby Don Lino was the big fat, like, chief of a sort of tribe, a primal tribe, and he being big and fat is like the high-ranking boy, and he has all the his subjects and servants and workers and hunters and stuff are all dead skinny and wear skimpy outfits. So they all wear skimpy outfits. And then I have the other scenario in Egypt where Jeremiah is the big fat pharaoh, or pharaoh as I've heard it's called now. I've heard people pronounce it pharaoh, so I just grown up knowing it that, but apparently it's pharaoh. So Jeremiah is the big fat pharaoh, and of course he shows off his sexy body because it's frowned upon to be dead skinny, because being skinny means that you're just a lowly peasant or a slave, because you can't, you're dead poor, so you can't afford to eat well like the king can. That's okay. But yes, I am not in a servitude or submissive role position. I am the boss. I am the king, I am the pharaoh, I am the aristocrat, I am the lord and master of the universe, of the entire universe, with paws, you see, I've got paws. I'm the master of the entire universe with paws. Paws. Cute paws. I thought of an Egyptian scenario like that, but it was with a female pharaoh, like Queen Cleopatra, that sort of thing, where she's being carried around in her little thing. What are them things called that they carried the royalty around on, and they were like draped on this thing where they got carried around on, and then they had like 4 men carrying the stick things, the handles. I don't know what they're called. Paws. Boop. So cute. What is this person going on about? I thought of an Egyptian scenario like that. Yes, it's a good one, isn't it? It is definitely a good one, isn't it? I like that, but she was fat and would need like 20 guys to carry her. Oh, that is an amazing scenario. I love that scenario. Did your scenario have like skinny slaves that were skinny and worthless and would get made fun of, like, aha, you're poor and have to do lots of manual labor, so you're dead skinny and disgusting and weak and puny. Like, did you have that scenario? Because that's an awesome scenario. I've been so judged for that. You know, on Phoebe, the fat fetish social network for people who like fat people and people who want to be fat and people who are fat and want acceptance and all that shit. Apparently I've been judged for that scenario because I described a scenario where I was the big fat pharaoh and I was sat on top of one of the dead skinny, puny, weak, skinny slaves. And I was like dangling food in front of them. And they're like, ha, this food's mine, you can't have it. And then I just keep eating and getting fatter and heavier. And they're like, oh no, there's that heavy. Phoebe is the dumpster fire. It is. So yeah, I described that and they were like, oh my God, that's disgusting. What is wrong with you? That's what they were like. Maybe not those who carry the pharaoh because they need to carry that gluttonous and precious belly. That sounds hot. Like a big fat gluttonous king, a big fat gluttonous pharaoh. It's so hot and sexy. And the weak, puny, skinny servants and slaves and peasants. And they're like, some of the peasants are like, yeah, the pharaoh's so hot and sexy and handsome, and I cream my pants whenever I think about him or see him. And then there's another group of peasants who are like, we're mad because he's like taking up all the food and all the wealth and we don't get any of it and we're made to stay skinny and weak and puny and like struggle to survive. Like, I think that's a really cool scenario. I love that. I really loved like the evil, sadistic pharaoh or government or whatever, unlike the poor downtrodden peasants and servants scenario. I've been into that since I was a kid. I used to fantasize a lot about being some kind of big fat sexy king and just treating my peasants and servants like garbage because I'm evil and diabolical and shit. I imagine sitting on your great throne with several subordinates bringing dozens of delicacies for you to consume and leaving only the bones and shells for them. They were like, here's your scraps of shit, peasants. That's all you're allowed. I consume all the food in the world because I'm big and powerful and godlike. I've actually learned a little bit about Egypt and also that king of France, Louis the something, and apparently they thought of him as a god. And there was this other king that was gluttonous and just kept eating lots of food, and people would come for miles to watch him eat. I thought, that's fucking hot. That's fucking hot. Apparently it was like a big thing, you know. Like, people were actually impressed by how much this king could eat, and they did not judge him for eating a lot. They did not judge him for being fat. It's like, yes, this king can do whatever he wants because he's the king and he's marvelous and he's like a god. I love it. Right, I need the thing. I don't know what it's called. Tin of thing. So we have Jeremiah. That's me. That's my persona. Here's pretty much a handsome, rich playboy. And he has lived in a society whereby being fat is seen as the preferred and most attractive body type, and being thin or skinny is looked down upon and frowned upon. And if you are fat, you're automatically high ranking. And if you're skinny, people just look down upon you. So everybody would strive to be big and fat, and a lot of them would be deliberately kept skinny, including Jeremiah when he was younger, by his father. Because obviously his father is like the alpha, so of course he doesn't want his son to like outrank him or anything, so he would deliberately keep him skinny. And these were a lot of like, these were like fantasy fetishes that I would have ever since I was a kid. Probably because I was always a skinny kid and I absolutely hated it, and it was like impossible for me to gain weight. It was like so hard. It didn't matter how much I ate, I just couldn't gain. So I was literally frustrated, and that frustration kind of, I don't know, led to a bit of arousal, and it led to this like scenario in my head whereby I would always have a character that was in charge, large and in charge and high ranking because they're fat, and there would always be like a character that was skinny who was usually forced to stay skinny, and they would be like dead frustrated and jealous. Because of course in real life I was jealous because I always, ever since I was a kid, I've always like thought of being fat as being like high ranking and like big and powerful and superior. So the fact that I was skinny used to frustrate me because I've always thought of like being skinny as being low ranking and inferior and stuff. So of course I didn't want to be that. It just makes sense to me. Like, I don't really get society, because it makes sense to me that, you know, when you're skinny, you're obviously like deprived of food and you're smaller and like narrower. So, you know, how is that going to be powerful? So I never really got girls. It's mainly girls, isn't it? There were some lads and all, but it's mainly girls that wanted to be dead skinny and they'd be anorexic and shit. And I never got that. I never understood it. I never understood why anybody would want to deliberately be skinny. Like, choose to be skinny. I always thought, well, people want to be slim. Like, they want to have some fat on them, but not be like dead fat. So that's what I always thought. So when I learned about people who actually wanted to be skinny, I thought, oh yeah, that's definitely a disorder. Because who in their right mind would want to be that skinny to where you're seeing the bones and shit? Because like I say, when you see bones and hip bones jutting out, and you've got like a really flat, concave stomach, that shows that they are skinny and puny and just like inferior and weak. Really, I didn't know that. The story like this could contain more god characters like this from the family, for example, not just the pharaoh. Yeah. We got Don Lino, the father of Jeremiah. He's a mafia boss. He's a big fat mafia boss because he's large and in charge. It could be like those stories where you as an adult force them to serve you while you are huge. Exactly. Primitive humans would be scared by the number of people wanting to be thin. Eating and storing fat was always a precious thing in the past. Yeah. So I don't get it. I don't get why. I know, because I remember asking this one time to people. I asked how come, like, because I personally, my logic brain don't and have never got it why people all strive to be as thin as possible and demonize fat, because it has always been like better to be fat, because if you were fatter, the fatter you were, the more likely you would be to survive a famine if one was to come along. And just because we have an abundance of food now, and like fast food is cheap and blah blah blah, you know, doesn't mean to say one day a famine might hit. Like, people don't think, they think, oh well, we've got an abundance now, so, you know, we don't have to want to be fat anymore because we've got plenty. And they just assume, I guess, that we're never going to be lacking and there's never going to be famines again. But you never know, they might be. And all these people who have deliberately striven to be fit and deliberately striven to be skinny, they're going to be the first to fucking die. They're not going to survive a famine. So how is in this society, even with it being like more abundance and like food is more accessible these days, how is that still preferable? Because like I say, people are just not prepared. That's the problem with humans, is they're never prepared. People think that you only have to be prepared for disasters if you are in a war-torn country, or if you're in a country whereby preparation is needed. Like, obviously, I guess they do things differently in places where there's lots of snow. So they actually have proper equipment to get rid of snow off the roads and shit. But when snow comes here, we're never prepared, we're never equipped, so there ends up always being car frickin' pile-ups and traffic jams and shit, because nobody knows how to deal with snow, because we don't normally get like a lot of snow like some countries. And then you've got countries where there are a lot of like really poor people, like third world countries, where they can't even get fast food. So I'm assuming they're the ones that would, I mean, I haven't heard of it really, but I guess they're the ones that would revere being fat more than being thin. But people forget that just because in the West we have a lot of abundance and accessible, endless resources of food, they forget that one day we might not always have that, and one day we might face a famine, and then all these people who have striven to be as skinny as possible, they'll be sorry. They'll be like, shit, we fucked up here, we're gonna die now, goodbye. Good night. I also don't know why they want this. For me, stepping on the floor and feeling it shake is much better than going on a diet. So are you big and fat yourself, or you just want to be fattened? Yeah, that's always been my ideal scenario. Being fat's really hot. I've always found like fatness attractive. I always wondered why, but to me it's just obvious. Here in Brazil, thank God, being chubby is something that is viewed favourably. You have to see those pot bellies peeking out of your shorts. Alright. So it's just like in my universe then, my world then, that I have created, whereby being fat is the more favourable body type. That's awesome. It really is. I want to come to Brazil then. But I know that in, like, there is this tribe called the Bodhi tribe, but they favour being fat, but they favour, like, firmer bodies, so the bodies can't be flabby or wobbly. I don't really like that. I like, for me, the body has to be soft and flabby and wobbly and ripply, overhanging, bouncy, wobbly, ripply bellies. That's where I'm at. I don't like the pregnant look. Like, that's more pot bellies or more like firm, fatter bodies just remind me of just someone who's pregnant, I guess. I'm not really into the pregnancy look. I like flabby, wobbly, sort of shapely bellies. I don't like just round and that's it. It's got to be shapely with rolls and... So you guys know that my favourable body shape is like more pear-shaped, so they're like smaller on top with smaller boobs, or man boobs. If you're a woman, boobs. If you're a man, man boobs. And then like smaller waist and then go out at like the big fat love handles and the big fat hips and arse and big thick thighs and chunky calves. I like all that the best. But it's got to be really wobbly and ripply, and if it's firm, it doesn't seem as superior and sexy. You can't be high ranking if shit doesn't wobble and ripple. It's gotta wobble and ripple. You could get firm with being muscular. Definitely gotta be. Definitely got to be flabby. Gotta have stuff to grab onto and play with. And I've got to see that wobble and bounce when they walk or move. Pear-shaped. You're pear-shaped. I love it. I am not, unfortunately. I really would like to be pear-shaped, but I have just not been blessed with that body shape. I'm more top-heavy, which I hate. Because I hate having big boobs. I'd say mainly because I'm trans male, so I really want to be a guy, you know, I want to identify as a guy, and I do. But, you know, having big boobs doesn't help to make me look like a guy. So, it really sucks. I can't say I want a completely flat chest though, but I'd like it to be flatter than it is. I don't mind having some boobs as long as they're really small. And perky. I really want small and perky. I've got a friend who's pear-shaped. She's pretty big actually. And she's got the smallest boobs I've ever seen on a big fat woman. They look like man boobs, I swear to God, they're really nice. Man. I would really, I imagine how you want to reduce your breasts. The pain in your back is hard, right? My pain comes and goes, but they do feel heavy, especially when out of a bra. And I hate the way it feels. It feels like they're just dragging me down. It's hard to keep a good posture like this. Because I really like a good posture myself. Like, you know, shoulders back and everything like this. I don't like the look of someone slouching and having round shoulders. But it's hard to keep my posture good and high enough when the bloody things are dragging me down. Bloody things are dragging. And they're just ugly as well. Like, they don't even look nice. They're too big for my tiny frame. I've only got a small. I mean, I'm only short and I've only got a small frame, so my bottom half being smaller, they just make me look uneven. That's why I always wear bras that make my boobs look smaller, and I have to wear a bum enhancer, so it's like these shorts with pads to kind of even myself out, so it makes me look like I actually match at the very least. Even if I don't look pear-shaped, it makes me look more hourglass shaped, so I'm the same on top as I am on the bottom. Somebody said to disguise your boobs you have to wear baggy clothes. Doesn't even work on me. Just makes it look shapeless. The rich boss. Yeah, if you could move the fat from your breast to another part of the body, where would it be? Well, the outer hips, so this area here, which you can't see very good. Outer thighs, I mean. Outer thighs. My bum, but like further at the top of my bum. Yeah, that's it. Outer thighs. Because I already have a lot of fat on my inner thighs and like this bit, you know, the kind of front bit. The front bit here is already very fat. But for some reason I don't have as much fat on my outer thighs for some reason. I don't know why. Like, it sticks out a bit. Like, I can feel my bone. I can feel my hip slash, I think it's femur, hip slash thigh joint. And it's, like, if I hit that on concrete, it would just break. You know? It's very skinny, I'd say. My outer thighs are quite skinny, so you can literally feel bone. There's not much cushion, so if I was to lie on, say, a hard thing, a hard floor or whatever, I would have to have a pillow or something soft underneath me, because it really is like just bone I'm feeling. Yeah, ever since I was a kid I was very skinny and I hated it. So I always wanted to gain weight. Oh, nice choice, because the tail would cover the bum. Yeah, now sometimes the thighs touch because of this. They always touch. I think I've managed to exercise them. They feel a bit firmer than they did before. Who knew all I had to do was just eat a bunch of food at night and I'd get fat? Oh. I had to wait until I was over 25 though before I gained weight. I was never able to before. I guess I never really overate. I guess you have to overeat to get fat. I mean, it makes sense now. I guess I just ate normal at meal times, and then I was quite an active kid. So I guess, that didn't help. I only became sedentary when I was about 10 or 11 because grandma died. So I became depressed and became more sedentary and not as playful and bouncy as I was. I know it now. I can't stop eating at night. Can't stop eating. And I can't lose weight anymore because I like my food at night and I get more hungry at night. So I can't stop. It's like a habit. Like sometimes I'm not even hungry, but I'll just eat anyway because it's just like a routine. Because after dinner, you see, I like to go on the computer and watch something on there. So I'll get some food. And if I don't do that, I become pretty miserable. It's because it's something I just love to do. Obviously, given that I do dinner so late these days, it's I don't really get as hungry after dinner anymore. But if I do feel peckish, I'll just have soup or something. What I'm eating now is bolognese. That was what my mum suggested, but it's with corn meat because we're vegetarians. Try to eat things that knowledgeable makes calories go to your thighs. I wouldn't know. As far as I know, I have heard that you can't get weight to go to anywhere specific on your body. It just goes where it goes. And obviously, when I gain weight, it first goes to my boobs and belly. That is where it goes. Yeah. You can't really, you can't choose where it goes, really, unfortunately. I wish you could. I'm going to do squats now because that will make them bigger. So yeah, there is absolutely no way to make fat go to specific parts of your body. The only way you can do that is by just exercising and growing muscle in those areas. While this place is getting very damp, I'm going to have to open the window. I can smell the damp. I can smell the damp wood. Very strong. I can smell the damp wood very strong. I could when I went out of that door just then. This house is mouldy and damp, so it makes my eczema really bad. That's why I want to move. There are two reasons why I want to move. One is because the house is pretty much falling apart and it's mouldy and damp and it's causing my eczema to be really bad on my face. And the other reason I want to move is because my mum has pretty much made me her slave. So remember we talked about slaves and shit? Well, I'm kind of like a slave, really. Unfortunately, in real life. It is ironic. I've always said it's ironic because I've always wanted to have slaves. And I have always wanted to sit around and do nothing and just eat while people just bring me food and just do whatever I want. Just, you know, do everything for me, like cook and clean and stuff. But ironically, I've ended up being the slave, and my mum has ended up being the one to just sit around all day and eat while I wait on her and stuff. And I've ended up being like the slave, so it's been ironic. So this has been so hard over the years. I've had to do this for the past 10 years or more. Officially 10 years, but it's been longer than that now. And it made me quite depressed because I felt like I was living for her instead of for me. And I still felt like I was, even as a grown-up, I felt under my mum's thumb like I'm a kid, you know. And it kind of took away my self-respect. It is bad. She is disabled, so she kind of like convinced me to be her carer. And I didn't really want to, but I kind of felt like I had to. Because I knew what it meant. I knew that it meant me having to do everything, and she'd just like sit around, like I say. And yeah, I can smell mold and damp here very strong. It is pretty awful. So that's been hard on me, I guess, because the hell? Because I wanted the, you know, like more privileged, easy life where I had somebody doing all this crap for me to make my life easier. I don't really like doing chores or anything. Like, I don't mind doing some, but doing all of them is definitely something I didn't want. So advantage. My age is late 20s pretty much. And yes, I'm still living in my mother's house and pretty much sort of under her control, if you will. I've had to literally fight. When I say, I mean, there have been some like physical fights, but it's been mainly verbal fights, like arguments, which have really fucked with my mental health at the time. To be able to get any sort of freedom, like going out, you know. I was never allowed to go out. It's just like I had to stay in all the time because my mum would say, well, you can't go out, you can't do this, that, the other, because, you know, I have to be here all the time looking after her, she said. And I said, well, that's not fair. You know, I've got a life to live. You know, I'm young and I want to do this and that and the other, but I was never really allowed to because I had to just stay in the house all the time. I'm in my early 20s and I still live with mine too. I commend you. I wouldn't mind living with my parents, my mum, whatever, if she wasn't disabled. because before she became disabled, she pretty much did everything, all the cooking and cleaning, and I did some chores, like, you know, I did my bit. I didn't just do fuck all, but, you know, I didn't have to do everything. Like, now I have to do absolutely everything, and it's just too much for one person. In a house like this, anyway, because of the state it's in. Because it's not really, it's not easy to clean. You know, it's a bit too, because of the mold and damp and everything. And of course the rat infestation, which my mum refused to kill the rats. So we ended up with a rat infestation for such a long time. And it's pretty much just ruined, they've like ruined everything and contaminated everything and made it worse. So between that and the mold and damp, which we've had for years, it makes the house a lot harder to clean. But she expects me to do it all by myself. Even though, to be honest with you, whenever I try and clean the house, it would make my allergies act up. So that's what kind of deterred me from doing it, really. Because every time I did it, my allergies would act up. So I kind of, you might say that deterred me from doing it. It made me not want to stay. It made me not want to do it because it would make my allergies act up. So you don't have to do anything, do you? Like, you know, you live with your parents, but they do everything for you. That's my dream life, pretty much. Like, you know, obviously I wanted servants, but the best, the closest I could get to that, the best I could do, was obviously living with my mum and her doing like the majority of the chores and the cooking, and I would do the odd, like I'd prepare snacks for myself, and I'd do my own breakfast and supper, but she did dinner. And I made cups of teas, and I hoovered and I mopped and I washed dishes sometimes, and I dealt with the animals when we had pets. That's what I was expected to do when she was able-bodied. So I was still expected to do something, but now it's like everything, it's just too much for me. But yeah, it's been my dream life to pretty much, yeah, just like do whatever I want to do, just lounge around and be dominant and imposing and powerful, and have like servants to do everything for me. That was pretty much my dream life. But, you know, I guess I had that for a while, in the sense of my mum doing everything for me, but now she's disabled, pretty much nothing gets done because I refuse to do everything. It's too much for me. I try and do what I can. I try and tidy up as best as I can. I hoover, I wash pots, and all that good stuff, but I'll put the rubbish out and bins out and everything. I do this cooking, as you can see. She does her own sandwiches because, well, she can do that. She used to make me do it. She used to make me do her sandwiches. And I'm like, why, you can do it. You've got a chair there. You can prepare sandwiches. But there would be times where she'd get ill and she'd make me do them. And then when she was well again, she would continue to make me do them, despite the fact that technically she could do it. She could technically do it, but still made me do it anyway, you know? So that's when I kind of, you know, objected. So that's what I'm doing now. She's done the same. She started cooking for a while, but she got ill, and now that she's back well again, she's still continued to make me do the cooking every single night. So I don't know how to get her. She just refuses to do it. Another good story would be you are the owner of a kingdom and your servants raise animals, not for them to eat, but for you to eat them all and leave only the skin and bones. Oh, okay. Yeah, a lot. A lot what? So that's my mum's. Oh, I haven't put the herbs in. Put like pepper in, that's it. Shit. This is not good. It is quarter past. So I'm just going to put some basil in because it was the cook really, but never mind. I'm sorry, I've got to go now. I've got to get changed and have dinner. I will talk to you again soon. Hopefully you will come back and we can chat again. Nice to see you. I hope to see you soon. I will do a live stream, maybe Saturday or Monday. We shall see. Thanks for the stream. You're welcome, Lisa. Sorry I didn't talk too much. I thought you'd gone. Nice to see you again. Have a nice evening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and become a Patreon because it seems to be working. I will, when I can find it, link the locals. I've not found it yet, but once I have found it, I will link my locals. I will link my locals to YouTube so you guys can support me on there, just in case Patreon ever withholds my payments like they keep threatening to do. Good night for now. Oh, on PayPal. I'll link my PayPal so that people can, they can donate if they want to. And if they donate, they can get videos, pictures, and art of their choosing if they want. Good night. I'll leave it on for a few seconds. There's the Patreon. Support the boss, please. That's me. I am Lord Jeremiah, the boss and the Pharaoh. Please support me. Thank you very much. I'll link everything.